Hey boys, how's it going? Sorry, but I was actually waiting for the drop there. That's a Foul Play, a bit of drum and bass from 1995, I think. So, uh, so it's been a while since I've done a Boom Beach upload, and basically the update was on. So we did an operation today. We're gonna toss up between Hacksaw and Upper Lip, and I said, look, we'll just do Hacksaw. As it turned out, there's prototype defenses and stuff on this. So look, I'm gonna fly through this because I actually got away in 45 minutes. And my NFL upload from yesterday is crashed. I'm having a mirror with the internet here, so I got to my buddy's house. He's got a UPC stroke, super cable broadband rather than crock shit the stuff that I've got down here. So look, without further ado, we will go to the war. As I said, we're doing Hacksaw, so the intel's changed. So we'll just go in and have a look at whatever, and let's kind of a look. Hello to the four. So I was the first man up, and I did tension. Some of the battles we just fly through, and some of them are obviously my own battle was brilliant. So let's have a look at it here. I used my usual RZM, and I boosted troop damage. My troop damage stature, so I was at 60%, and I had 96% boost on my GBE. So I had plenty to go. No, at the same time, I sent Drico before. I said Crunch looked pretty tough, so I said, look, I can probably take tension. If I don't take tension down, I leave it, well softened up. And of course, I went to Town Hall 19 the other day, and I must say I love critters, so I just banged the old critters in here this time. Let them, everything else was well out of the way, so they could go munching away. Send the boys in from the left here, and the girls. Have to look after our female fans here as well. I've of my viewers of my various videos I'm doing now, I've like 90% male viewership and 10% female, so I have to look after the girls as well. So the lads are getting to work here and flare them up to the towers there. And I must say I love the new graphics on as well, all the level 21s, and obviously that you can see the prototype defenses here as well. Just zoom in there and doing this on the blue stacks. Thanks to Nomad Day One for getting me the blue stacks. Like without the whole video thing just kind of came. I kind of backdoored into it rather than actually planning to how do I do this. I just kind of started messing around with stuff, and hey presto, here we are. Anyway, I was getting chewed to pieces there a bit, alright. So then I just let the critters go to town here again. Just banged in a few, relocated the boys back up, and the critters have a job there. Like they're the new level 21 machine guns. I didn't actually think I was going to take it down, but a few stuns, and I think a few more. I banged in a few more critters here as well. I got a good bit of GBE getting sorted out there all the time. So yeah, once those Zukas hit town, I think they're up to level 17 or 18 now at this stage. So boom, there she goes, nice one. Back to that. So that was a good start anyway. Next up we have Era Abu. Just gonna have, I think he did did he do oh, he did this, he did the chuckers, didn't he? Yeah, I'll just speed this up a bit here. I think chuckers and tanks, like, yeah, there's not much to see really blasting away. The Proto Defence here this time is the damage booster, which I think is a lot of crap. Like, I see them on any basis anyway. Lick my lips in anticipation of taking it down because I think they're rubbish. So he did a good old job there. Kept pounding away. Boom, nice one. Softened it up nicely. 2 minutes later, he got it well done. Like, so we go on to the next attack. Irabu used to be in Irish Death with us as well. So at one stage, myself and Drico were in a task force going back ages. Then we left because it was just a complete head wreck, and Stefan, well, Draco went away. I was the next man in. So I die for Draco, boy. He's a great man. And now, funny enough, we're back here again, like Irish Death. Now are flying, but we just kind of lost interest in that big stuff. Like, but I think their minimum thing now was 600 medals, and they're flying up the charts. Like, well, I'm just not interested in that. Like, okay, so Bui was the next man on, and Bui, in fairness to him now, well, I did say on the chat, lads, if you can, while we're doing ops, if you can just check in before you attack, because like we were just crunch was really crunchy. You'll see that crunch in a minute now, and we were just worried that we weren't going to get through it, but we did anyway. So you just send the tanks here. Look, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Speed us up. This was an easy takedown after air boost softened it up. Like 10 minutes later, yeah, it's just boom, boom. He's out of range of everything. Nice one. So Bui is a Vietnamese extraction living in Georgia. So hey to the States, nice one. Okay, Draco, this is a great attack here from Draco. I won't even I'll just talk you through it, alright? It's one of those that help no ones, and we've actually got one or two of those that help no ones awards so far for these attacks. Basically he lost connection after this first shot. So that was a bit of a bummer. Okay, Sudsy goes into Arsenal. I don't know much about Sudsy. He hasn't been in. He's been in the force now a while, right? Yeah. We're still kind of reeling. Lord Vader, a trooper, used to be with us before, is a big loss. He was like the biggest hitter in the force. I think he just got cheesed off with the game. Like, and it's a pity because with the new update now, it's like playing a new game again. They've really done nice things with the graphics. I said there a while ago, and they've just kind of the level 21 stuff is just kind of reinvigorated the game, because you do get cheesed off for it again. It's the same thing all the time. Like, so what's he doing here? He's doing heavy Zuka, getting a bit of a pounding there. Banging in nicely. Boys and girls going to work. Just speed it up there to 2. And nice use of the flare there. Oh, he does a class move here. This is a bit, you wouldn't see footwork like this from Ronaldo. I just love that move with the old the flare smoke back onto the rocket launcher under the smoke, boom, and readjusted another flare here. Then again, I think is it to get the girls to go to town. They were hammering away there. So it's a lovely. I love that smoke move. It's brilliant. Nice one, Suds. Keep up the good work. And that's it. We'll go on to the next one. They did a good job there. Basically took up most of the defenses. So Nomad. So I was talking about Crunch there. Nomad. As I'd say like no, Draco is like my long lost brother, whereas Nomad is one of those cool uncles that you'd love to go on the piss with. Like, so like we've been in a few tasks. We met an Irish death. Then he left, kind of did his own thing for a while, Nomad Land, which was a bit of a heroic failure. Then he kind of came back, and then I left, and we kind of joined up forces again. We were kind of friends on the Kick the Messaging app, so we kind of kept in touch. And I said, look, I'm starting up, moved from force to force, and then we just got fed up. I said, look, let's just do our own thing. So we actually picked up DC, Count, Evan, and DP there as well. So the lads moved with us then when we decided to set up our own thingy, like just less hassle. So without further ado, it's a great attack here from Crunch. Thanks again. So we'll just do this at double speed, a bit like the way I talk. So here he goes, flare up to the right, and like these rocket launchers are level 13, and I think they sting. Like I think Nomad's he's HQ 20, and I don't know his tanks. His tanks are up high there now. They're high enough there now. I think they could be 11 or 12. So he just goes to town there. Does a bit of farming for the old in the power cells, getting a bit of GBE together, flaring up there. Speed it up there small, but no, we'll bring it back down again. So he's getting the getting the old GB together for the old bit of an assault here now. There we go. I'll bring it back down. I love the effects of the new mortars as well. You're looking and say, what the bloody hell is this thing coming through? The level 21 mortars. So he's making a nice little bridgehead here for us for the follow up, because I was comparing this to a very well defended onion as rocket launchers, the Proto got the tone nicely here. And of course, as I said earlier on the chat, the old Blackguard haven't signed up for the Geneva Convention at all. Boys are taking his heavy toll on his tanks, so he's got the 6 or 8 medics left, and no hope for the boys. 20 seconds left. Here we go. He puts the bit of heal on the medics, hoping that they can keep themselves together. Nah. Boom cannons, nasty boom cannons. Good night. But that was a nice 45 out of the 102. So that was a good start anyway. Okay, Nomad. So next thing we have LT87, who's actually Lee from my Clash of Clans from the Amnesia Haze. So the other guy from Amnesia Haze, Theo, is the co-leader of Amnesia Haze, and he was an Irish Death as well. So we're all kind of paths crossing by various Supercell games. So Lee kind of went for the old bag of all sorts here. He had a couple of boats of heavies, I think, a couple of boats of Zooks. And actually, this is a really classy move hitting it here in wide as well. So Lee says, go to tongue, like he's getting a bit of a pace in there, enough from the rocket launcher or from the shock. He just goes right in amongst it, which I was looking at first. I was going on, he's going to lose everything here, like. Getting a bit of a hammering, but he's taking out a few turrets, alright. Sending in a few artillery shots there as well. He's getting the right pounding, so he goes for the flare. Gets the hell out of dodge. And a flare back in again. And this is quality then, like. The tanks actually tank for the Zookas, which I haven't seen before, like, but it's like they're obviously a way better meat shield than a heavy. So it's going to tone there nicely. Let's see how it's coming down. I think he went very, very close to actually completing it, like, so he's actually out of range of everything as well. That's quality move, Lee. Well impressed. He's even got one of the my rifle guy men banging away there as well. Why isn't that rocket launcher? Oh, he is, yeah. So he's going for the tanks, like. Very, very unlucky here. I don't know how he didn't. It's going to speed it up there a bit now. Don't know how he didn't actually end up taking it down. I suppose the tanks probably just ran out of health. Pity he couldn't just put oh, the Zooks got tanked, sent to hell there as well. Yeah, so it's murder she wrote. Like, but he couldn't have got a heal spell on the tanks there. The boys are hammering it away, so it's down to 0. Like, oh, unlucky. Oh, there's still one Zook or a heavy left there as well. Giving it Holly. Unluckily, that was a brilliant attack. I loved it. Okay, so there's down to 0. So no, this is one thing that wrecks my head. I mean, it's down to 0 basically. A bad cart's fart will take it down, and Sewell, like, who is he's level 47. I mean, really, like, slender nuts or whatever should be taking this out. So slapping the wrist there, Sewell. In fairness, like, there's work to be done on Crunch. So why you're a big boy, like, go fight the big boys. When a base is that low, just leave it off, like, leave one of the small guys take it on. One of my things. So actually, I put up a note then on Crunch at that stage. Actually, we'll just have a quick look at Crunch. So after Noma did such a good job This is my note. Like, no one has built a massive bridgehead here. Recommend a rifle Zook attack from the right into the row of cannons. So we're actually just going to scout this actually there now first. Yeah, so this is the way I was seeing it, like, and basically there's been a few attacks since, but it's basically the playing field hasn't said, no, if this is me attacking now, I send my master rifles up here, flare to there, and just leave them go to town. And they'll make shit of all that. Try and bring them up here then to get there's a couple of boom cannons there, and maybe out of range of the rocket launchers, to be just on the periphery of the rocket launcher range. But you could be, my way of thinking was sending the rifles and the Zooks, or you did medics as well, do the RZM or just rifle Zooks, and basically like just clear out all this crack here, clear out all that shit, and then it's an easy job for any mid-level tanks. Just come back up the same way, flare to there, and go straight in at 3 o'clock. No pressure. But that's not how it panned out. Well, so far anyway. So there's just 2 more attacks. So CK boy goes with the bag of all sorts here again. Maybe he thought that we're still on the special op that we were doing the op last night was a one boat of every troop with legs. So he's got a boat of riflemen, a boat of heavies, a boat of Zooks, medics, and some tanks. So CK, let's see how this. CK is from Croatia. He's been with the force a good bit as well. So we're just going to have a look at the battle anyway, see how he gets on. So yeah, he's going, sending it all in, flaring away. We'll just speed this up again now. So then instead of going for 3 o'clock, he went for like the 1 o'clock, and of course, boom, into the rocket launchers and the shock launchers, and they're going to town on them. His ground troops are dead, and you know, tanks don't last pissing time there. So that was like, that was a bit of a waste of attack, to answer to CK. But you know, we live and learn. We live and learn. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So yeah, then the Count, who's been, as I said a while ago, he was with this other, he was in this force that had joined Tranquility. And in fairness, the Count, he's a great man for gathering the intel, American. But this attack is a disaster, and you shall see why very shortly. So here he comes, DC. He's got good tanks. He's only got after getting tanks recently, actually, yeah, because he was always a heavy Zuka man. So just speed this up again a bit there. So tanks. What do boom cannons love? On cannons, tanks. So he's following the CK route, trying to come in at 1 o'clock. No, he did put on the I just actually I'll just put it back down to 1. He did put on the chat afterwards, fat fingers. So he sends in the barrage and onto the. Yeah, there's only this basically slot rally here, like, you know, the boom cannons are going to town, the cannons are going to town. I mean, did he have 10 tanks there a while ago? Didn't last seconds. You know, you send in 5 boats of riflemen there, cheap as chips, and they'll get rid of all that, like, you know. So that's silly move. Then he's trying to flare away the medics, like, so you lose now your boat of medics as well. But medics don't follow flares; they just follow the injuries. So that's it, lads. Nice short video. So the other thing that I was going to talk about there, like, so like, yeah, the new updates. This is brilliant. Task force, task left. So we've 7 guys left to attack. Alex the miner, who's been with us for a good bit as well. He's Russian and he's a tank man. Steo, as I said earlier on, is also my Clash of Clans, and he mainly uses tanks. Like most of the guys are in their the 40 odds. Like Safe K, don't know much about him. To be honest with you, he uses warriors, but he's not on that much. Chief Bob is my buddy, the Cork man, who's relocated to Texas, but now he's living in not Seattle, Washington. No, not Washington either. What's it up? What's that other state? I can't think of the name of it now. So he is our American officer. Slender Nuts, who's the Joker in the pack. He's one of our lowest level guys, but he's a bit of a laugh. He's always on the chat. And he's always giving us some. Mem is after only just joining. We have a look there now, see what his intel story. Helms Deep is a Jets fan. I think I can't remember where he's from again. I think he obviously must be around New York somewhere. So I think he's a postman as well, isn't it, James? And a UPS man. So he missed. I was giving out to him the other day because he missed the attack. You know, we've had one or two Duff attacks lately, which is a bit disappointing. So this is great update now that we can see exactly who's left to attack. You don't have to go down through the list again. I remember in the old days when there was 50 guys there, there was 4 or 5 guys that hadn't attacked yet. You'd be racking your brain trying to remember who it is. So that's a great addition to Supercell in fairness. And another thing that they've done now as well, and just go back to the Irish Death Days as well, where we got the old spreadsheet going. No, they do all that for you. So into the stats, I know task force created 54 days ago, so that's another new thingy. Give you the usual how many operations you've done. Actually, there's no total operations and all that. It's a great thing. Then there's the member stats. So this is what we used to do before. Intel collected, attacks done. It's brilliant. This week, last week, weekly average, grand total, unbelievable. Like we used to have to do all this by hand. Shane had to do it on the computer, like, and it was like you'd have your weekly hangings then at the start on the Monday, like. So now it's there in black and white for everybody to see. So we're going to be cracking the whip now. If the participation rate goes down lower, you know, if there's going to be a few question marks, there's nowhere to hide anymore. So that's it, lads. Anything else? Oh, I've one last thing that I want to do. So yeah, as I said, DP left. He just got the hump with me. I made a kind of a passive aggressive remark to him. I thought he would have known better, and he is missed. Like he was on the chat, you know, talking to himself all the time. The guy with 2 accounts, but anyway. So I think we had a vacancy. So gonna look just quick look at the task force here. So Nomad co-leader. That's another thing. Now you can do co-leaders. So I made Nomad and Drico co-leader. Well, we're all basically co-leaders. Like Alex, Inrroduction, Sudsy, the Count, CK Boy. So as I said, no, this guy's just joined the other day. Hasn't said anything in chat. So I'd say he could be for the high road shortly if he doesn't kick in with some mental or say something. You know, what's the point of being a task force if you're not going to actually join in? You know, that's the way I feel anyway. So Helms Deep, there we go, Slender Nuts. So Slender Nuts, let's bring you up. Okay, Slender, you're being promoted. He put his hand up today, and he is a bit of a joker in the pack, but he's on the chat a fair bit, and in fairness, look, he's have to bring in 26 intel there. So you deserve it, kiddo. Nice one. Welcome to the gang. So what I'm going to say to you now, Slender, is get yourself onto Kick, the messaging app, and join the chat, because we have our own little officers clubs there, just, you know, sussing things out and whatever. All right, so boys, I think that is about it. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. We're going to use this as a recruiting tool. Hopefully people will enjoy it. So without further ado, Chewy out. I'm going to just go back to that and leave the track layout.